Hello, this is the Citi newsroom on Citi TV. I am Umaru Sanda Amado. A lot of talk has been had about the excavators that were impounded from various galamsey mines across the country when Citi FM started the war against galamsey, indeed the Stop Galamsey Now campaign that we started in 2017. The government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo joined the campaign and actually set up an interministerial committee to deal with the matter. There was a task force made up of military, police and other security agencies, and the job was to end galamsey, sanitize our environment and ensure our water bodies are not destroyed. Now that led to the clampdown on excavators. A lot of them were moved from the galamsey pits and taken to government designated areas to be kept or for safekeeping for the state. Over the past few weeks, the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Kwabena Frimpong came out and said over 500 of these excavators cannot be seen. Indeed, they have simply evaporated. Here on the Citi newsroom, we decided to take a tour around town to investigate the whereabouts of these excavators, at least the ones that have not evaporated yet. Our search brought us to the aviation land at Adentan here in Accra. There's a huge garage which is housing excavators, and the entrance clearly states it belongs to the Republic of Ghana. You can see the coat of arms. It's a security zone, no entry for unauthorized persons according to what the signage says. And indeed this place, which is fenced, housing these excavators, is guarded by military, plainclothes and uniformed military and other security agencies. We have sought permission to go inside and see how many excavators indeed we have here. Perhaps we could count up to 500. Let's see. Well, I'm inside the yard now, the aviation land where these excavators have been parked. And it's a sea of excavators, a simple color of yellow excavators that have been parked without drivers, without anybody moving them. What we have been told is that these excavators are part of several other hundreds of excavators that have been impounded in various mining sites across the country. And they were brought here for safekeeping. There are other places, we are told, in Accra and other parts of the country where these vehicles or these excavators are being kept. But the reason this is important and big news is because the minister in charge of this particular arrangement, the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, the chairperson, Professor Kwabena Frimpong has said over 500 cannot be accounted for. And this has raised the interest in reporting on these excavators. So since we're talking about numbers, let's see if we can count how many are here in this particular yard. Well, to begin with, they are properly labeled, but these numbers cannot work. So we're going to do a manual count to see if we can actually see how many excavators are here. So that would be one, and there's two in here. And I'm going to continue a very long journey. So this is 57, 58, 59, okay, 60. It's been a long count. These are generally scattered excavators, even though they are parked at the same place. They're generally scattered, and it's pretty difficult to count because they are parked back to back, forward facing, and it's such a clutter. And so based on the count I've done so far, I am getting close to 90 excavators. I have, this would be my 85th excavator, 86, 87, 88 would be that last one. And then this will be the end of the yard. So I've counted approximately, and this may have its own ramifications, but as many as I've counted, I could say I've counted up to 88 excavators. It could be maybe margin of error of 3 or I'm not sure. But that's how many I have counted here. I'm told the excavators that were brought here are more than the number we have here. I'm told some of them have been moved from this site. We do not know who did the moving. and we are not even sure what the arrangements have been. Suffice it to say, these ones have been parked here on a private property at the aviation area or aviation land in Adentan, and the movement is yet to happen. So there's a military man who is guarding here, or military people who are guarding this particular place. There's something very curious, though, that we need to discuss. It has to do with the registration of these excavators. Let's have a look. This vehicle, this excavator, is registered GR, that's Greater Accra, 6916. That's not even what is important to me. The last figure, 18, means it was registered in 2018. Now, the campaign to end illegal mining started in 2017. A key issue was raised at the time, that the importation of excavators was going to be monitored and regulated. There's been talk about putting trackers on these excavators when they arrive. How is it that in the height of the campaign to end illegal mining, an excavator was brought into the country? It was taken to the DVLA, or any appropriate authority in the country. It was registered in the year 2018, which is the height of the fight against Galamsey. And this vehicle found its way into a Galamsey pit somewhere in the Ashanti region, maybe in the eastern region. There are police checkpoints on all these highways. 2018 is not even dangerous. There are fresher cases. I'm going to look around to see if there's one registered in 2019. Let's go. Just to drum home the point further about registering and dispatching excavators to mining sites, even though there was a campaign to halt the mining activities, the illegal mining activities. This excavator is registered GR, which is Greater Accra, 6892, but the key focus is 19. This vehicle was registered in 2019, last year. This brings into question the tracking systems that were talked about, how these vehicles are tracked when they are being moved from Accra to the Galamsey sites. That's just a point of note. But as we're speaking about these excavators and having a conversation about where they are, this particular low bed truck is just arriving. This trailer is just arriving with an excavator sitting at top. And the information we are picking up is that this land here at the Adentan area, known as the Aviation land, is serving as a centralized location where these excavators, which have been seized, are being assembled, and they have been coming in daily, we are told, over the past 1 month or so. Well, while the conversation about the excavators is ongoing, several people have been talking. They've been called for criminal prosecutions. The police have already arrested persons, and questions are being asked of these particular people. But the Media Coalition Against Galamsey and Occupy Ghana have jointly issued a statement, in which statement they are asking various questions about where exactly these excavators should be parked. Now, they question the stations of these vehicles, saying that per the law, they are not even allowed to be parked where they are. They're rather supposed to be in the premises of the police stations because they have the authority to hold them. I'm going to now attempt to find the spokesperson of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey to hear and have a better understanding of what position they have on this subject matter. What in the minister's statement, and I'm referring to Professor Kwabena Frimpong-Boateng's statement, raised eyebrows that made you issue that joint statement?
Well, for the minister to have said that the excavators were not 500, but they were less than that, but could not even give us a number, and then agree that excavators were missing, definitely was a worrying thing. And we are already had begun to see some signs of the fact that we're losing some of the battles. In the Western region, 4 Ghanaians had lost their lives in the Galamsey pit. If you look at the Daboise water treatment plant, the turbidity of the water was so bad. We then looked into the law and then realized that how could this have happened? If you consider the 2006 Minerals and Mining Act, it is very specific in some terms of things like the excavators. It says that when anybody is mining, it's called mining without a lease, a mining lease or a small-scale mining license, and is using any equipment, the person has committed a crime. And definitely the person should be arrested, the equipment should be confiscated. But when those equipments are confiscated, they are supposed to be in the custody of the police. So how could these excavators have been given to the MMDAs to the extent that we now could not find even one excavator? So definitely that was worrying.
What is your fear? Is it your fear that someone in high authority is selling these excavators because someone has been arrested as we speak?
Well, before even what the minister had said, the reason why this could come up is because there had been complaints from some small-scale miners who could not find the excavators. They go to the places where they're supposed to go and collect the excavators. They can't find it. There was a situation about one of the excavators that was traced and found again in a forest reserve, engaged in Galamsey, and had even been banned. So definitely there was something amiss. There was the situation that we were not accounting properly for these excavators.
We have seen, and we're just returning from the site at Adentan, where there's a yard housing close to 100 excavators. 88 is a figure that we got. And these are some of the excavators that were retrieved. And we are told that a lot of them are being brought to this centralized point. Does that solve the problem, you think?
I really would wish that, because where you're talking about close to the New Gulf, the challenge is that, is this under the control of the police? Because if it is not under the control of the police, it's flouting the 2006 Minerals and Mining Act, because it's very specific. And as a country of rule of laws, we should not allow people to do things anyhow. And I'm pretty sure that the framers of the law recognize the fact that under the police care, the security of it would be more guaranteed than currently the way we are doing it.
This is still the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. This is a story that we are covering, bringing you all the angles that you need to know. Stay with us. What exactly is the state of affairs? Let's hear now from the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. It has a special branch that focuses on seizing and other management of these particular excavators. I've come to speak to the leader for the group. Hello, welcome to Citi Newsroom.
Yeah, hello.
Let me get properly your designation.
I'm the leader of the special team set by the minister, and our job is to monitor, investigate, evacuate, and arrest.
And your name is Nana
Yabuedu.
Fantastic. So let's begin with the first aspect, monitoring. What were you supposed to be doing?
We were supposed to monitor the operations of Operation Vanguard and Galamsey.
And this is under the IMCIM?
Exactly.
Okay. Are you also part of the group that has been seizing the excavators?
No. We are recently took over from my predecessor, Eko, who was in charge of the evacuation.
So you're replacing Eko?
Yes.
So you're doing the work that Eko is doing?
Yes,
so
the team is doing it.
So you are cutting excavators from mining sites. Explain to me what your job entails.
Our job basically is to move in to arrest all the excavators, evacuate.
With the support of the Vanguard?
Yes. And the seized excavators that were seized by the operations of Vanguard and Galamsey, so that we can evacuate every machine that was seized by them to a central point, which is at Aviation, which you have gone to see it yourself.
I see. So tell me about the seizures. How many have you seized so far since you began this operation? Do you know?
Yes. Since we took office, and the record shows that 1st August 2017 to 31st January 2020, as I'm speaking, 315 excavators were seized.
Is it true that hundreds of excavators are missing?
As we have started an investigation, I cannot come out with a figure of the missing missing excavators. But I admit the fact that some of the machines has gone back to the site. And we are now looking into it, whether it was sold or it has been rented or it has been given back to the owners.
Where did you take them to after seizing them?
Earlier on, when they seize the machines, they normally take them to the assemblies, then the police station. Then they later decided to evacuate it to Accra, which they started with 4 different areas. One is at Oyarefa, Abelempe Industrial Area, and Tema Community 9. So that was the area that they started evacuating them from the assemblies to those yards.
Across the country?
Across the country.
And who is in charge of these yards? Who owns these yards? Or who runs or manages these yards?
It was under ECOWA's
supervision. And so this was supposed to be the points that you bring them to after seizing them.
Exactly.
And what happens next?
So ECO was supervised Senate. So after we took over, we did the inventory, and the inventory that we gathered in Accra here was 127.
127?
Yeah.
That's the number of excavators you have?
That is in Accra here.
Even though you've seized 315?
Yes.
Are there other yards across?
As we speak, some are in Obuasi.
Do you know how many are in Obuasi?
I can't give you the figure.
Do you have an estimate?
I don't want to come out with a figure for now, since I don't have it right here.
Where else do you?
It's in Takwa, the Vanguard yard.
What is your plan?
Our plan is that we want to get one central point, so that whoever comes that he's looking for his machine can easily access it. So that when you go there and you don't see your machine or don't find your machine, then you can easily come up boldly that yes, it's true, your machine is missing.
And what happens to them when they are brought to this central point? What is the next plan after you bring them there?
That one I leave it to the government. Now what we plan doing is that we are not going to do any cover-up again. We are going with a camera. So when we enter the site, there will be a camera on it. We want Ghanaians to know whatever is happening at the mining site. So when you are doing the right thing, Ghanaians will know. When you are not doing the right thing, Ghanaians will know.
That's Nana Yaobuedu. He's the man who took over from Mr. Horace Ewusui, the man who actually is undergoing investigation for several issues that have been raised, including a possibility of being involved in criminal issues. And he has been referred to the CID. They've arrested him and he's being questioned. We are told he's been granted bail. This is still Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. We have further developments on this story.